Ms. Gilbert, in October 30th, the Politico newspaper noted that 75% of contributions that come from lawyers and their lobbyists go to Democrats. And in October of 2004, in an article in The Nation magazine, you noted that tort reform would help defund the Democratic Party. Can you please describe the connection between a system that allows more lawsuits and more money going to candidates for the Democratic Party?
I got everything up until your question. I'm sorry. Is this the question?
Can you describe the connection between a system that allows more lawsuits and increased funding for the Democratic Party?
Not very well, because it's not my area of expertise. I think I don't recall that Nation article. It was a long time ago. Did you say it was 1994?
No, 2004.
Oh, 2004. I don't recall the article or what the context was, so I can't really speak to that. And again, that's not my. I'm not here to be an expert on the funding of either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I am personally a very, very strong believer in a strong civil justice system that places responsibility where it belongs when there are injuries from unsafe products or other unsafe activities.
Regardless, 2004 is a long time ago, and that was who knows when the quote happened, if it was an accurate quote. But do you think that there's a relationship between tort reform or the availability of tort actions for lawyers and contributions for Democrats?
I don't know. Again, it's not my area of
I know,
of
and I think everybody knows.
And that's not why I'm here.
The fact is, this is a Republican-Democrat issue, in part because the Republicans want a system that works and makes sense, and the Democrats want to empower lawyers to make money and suck that out of the system. And I see Mr. Popper is furiously making a note, and I suspect you'd like to respond to that, Mr. Popper. You don't need to. I thought you were anxiously engaged there.
I was just noting what I needed to do after the hearing.
You leave academia and become
pick up your laundry, go to the.
No, we don't mean to be mean.
No,
let me just say.
I'm happy to respond.
I'll give you some time, but let me just say, I'm not anti-tort. I mean, I have lots of friends that are lawyers that bring about justice for people in small cases, in certain cases. It's just that there has to be a balance, and I think that there's clearly an imbalance both in the contributions and in the incentives that the different parties have. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
I think that too often the tort reform is characterized as an issue between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and I think while sometimes it seems that way on different votes, it's really not. The states' rights issue that is at the heart of tort reform is very much an issue of the Republican Party. I think there are many, many people in the Republican Party who have trouble with Congress trying to impose standards on the states. I think there are many people in the Democratic Party. Dodd and Lieberman proposed legislation that would have declared the tort system compensatory some years ago, which as a consumer advocate I thought was horrendous. So I don't think it's quite that clear as a Democrat-Republican matter. And I would, just as a final comment, kind of sort out the contributions of lawyers to campaigns. I think Ms. Gilbert is right. That's almost impossible to isolate. People give to campaigns for all kinds of different reasons, and if I ran the zoo, campaigns would be publicly financed anyway, and we wouldn't be talking about this.
Well, thank you. That was a very thoughtful comment. I appreciate it. If I had my way, we'd have people could contribute anything they wanted, and we'd have disclosure of everything, and I think that would clean up the cesspool much better than any other system would. But we're not likely to have that, and that makes it sort of a zoo. I agree, and it is sometimes hard to have direct connections in these things because you make good points about states' rights and that sort of thing. And I personally am deeply troubled about some of the aspects of tort reform that go to the prerogatives of states. Mr. Schwartz, I suspect you could further enlighten us on the issue.
Well, not on
or on anything else that you'd like to respond to that other people have said in the panel thus far.
Well, thank you. Since Professor Popper has graciously said he's a customer of my casebook. I have to tread lightly on criticizing anything he said, but I don't believe, and it's really speculation, that the people who in China who put lead in paint that would hurt children were thinking about tort reform in the American system. They may have thought that they are immune from the reach of our system of tort law, and that's not good. As I said, there's a tort tax on products. There's no reason for someone who is supplying a substantial number of products to this country to be immunized from our system. And I think it's good that this body is considering ways to address that. Professor Popper talked about bonding. I think any remedy should be isolated to the problem, not everybody who sends imports, but those who are not really available for suit under the current system. And there is flexibility in these decisions to try to address that particular problem. You have large importers that can be sued here and have been sued here. That's not the problem. It's those who send a substantial amount of products into the United States and are immune from our tort system. And that's, I think, what this body should look at.
Gentlemen's time has expired. We will now